Indian political history is written in ink, and far too often in blood. When a leader falls, the impact ripples outward, immediately destabilizing governments and rewriting the future of a nation in an instant. We see it in the most highly documented cases of our time. The sudden deaths of Prime Ministers Indira Gandhi and years later her son and successor Rajiv Gandhi proved that no level of power or security makes you untouchable. In the immediate aftermath of a high-profile killing, a familiar pattern plays out. A suspect is apprehended, usually within hours. A confession is secured. The public is told the case is closed, and we move on, trusting that the legal system has done its job. But this clean resolution rarely accounts for the logistics behind the act. When we peel back the layers of these investigations, we find that catching the triggerman is often just the beginning of a much larger, more complex set of questions. Presenting an assassin as a solitary fanatic, a lone wolf, works perfectly. It satisfies our demand for a culprit, and more importantly, it stops us from looking over the killer's shoulder to see who actually drew up the blueprints. Take the morning of April 22, 2006. Pramod Mahajan, one of India's most powerful political strategists, was shot 3 times in his own living room. The man holding the .32 caliber Browning pistol was his own younger brother, Praveen. Minutes later, Praveen walked into the Worli police station. He didn't flee, and he didn't ask for a lawyer. He approached the desk and calmly stated 6 words: "I am Praveen, and I killed Pramod." The press immediately locked on to an easy explanation. It was an ego-driven financial dispute. Praveen resented his older brother's massive success and felt treated like an inferior. It made perfect sense as a family drama. 18 years later, Pramod's daughter, Poonam Mahajan, went on national television and shattered that narrative. She stated clearly that there was no real quarrel between the brothers, and that Praveen was simply a tool used in a much larger conspiracy. Her claim points straight to a legal anomaly in the case. During the trial, Praveen made an in-camera confession behind closed doors. The contents were deemed so scandalous that the court sealed them away entirely, hiding them from the public until the year 2027. Praveen is now dead, taking whatever he said to the grave. A family dispute provides the ultimate cover story. It offers a ready-made motive of jealousy and greed, ensuring investigators never ask if a political rival actually funded the bullets. In other cases, investigations are simply ground down by time. In January 1975, Railway Minister L.N. Mishra was stepping off a dais at the Samastipur railway station when a bomb detonated, fatally wounding him. The authorities quickly pinned the assassination on the Anand Mark Group. They were a spiritual organization with a revolutionary wing, and the state argued they had targeted Mishra in retaliation against the government. What followed was a deliberate dismantling of the judicial process. The trials started in Patna, moved to Delhi, and then slowed to a crawl. Over the course of 4 decades, the case passed through the hands of 22 different trial judges. This chart shows exactly why it took so long. Local police and federal investigators actively obstructed each other. The CBI even had to formally petition the Supreme Court, complaining of severe interference from the Bihar state government itself. With the trial dragging into the 1980s, 90s, and 2000s, evidence eroded. Key approvers recanted their statements, witnesses vanished, and memories faded. By the time a verdict was reached in 2014, the case was held together by threats. A 40-year delay transforms the legal system into a shield for the architects, allowing them to age out of accountability long before a gavel ever falls. A third method for burying a conspiracy is the vengeance loophole. In July 2001, Phoolan Devi, the former outlaw who had become a sitting member of parliament, was gunned down directly outside her highly secure residence in New Delhi. The man who surrendered, Sher Singh Rana, claimed his motive was purely historical revenge. He was avenging the Bahmai massacre, a decades-old blood feud tied to her past in the Chambal ravines. But look at the timing. At the moment of her death, Phoolan Devi was a highly mobilizing and deeply polarizing figure in regional politics. Her sudden elimination conveniently neutralized a massive voting bloc right when her influence was peaking. A loud, highly publicized vendetta provides the perfect smokescreen. When the police and the public are satisfied that a killer acted out of personal revenge, no one bothers to trace the logistics, the funding, or the political actors who benefited most from her silence. Whether it's a family squabble in Mumbai, an endless legal maze in Bihar, or a historical vendetta in Delhi, the pattern repeats itself. We are fed immediate confessions, neat motives, and sealed documents, allowing the headlines to be quickly packed away into history. This diagram shows the anatomy of a cover-up. Introduce jurisdictional warfare between state and federal police. Stretch the judicial process into decades. Seal the most damning confessions behind closed doors. What remains in the center is a void, perfectly shaped to hide the mastermind. Focusing solely on the assassin serves as a distraction, satisfying the public's need for a culprit while leaving the higher-ups untouched. True justice requires looking past the weapon and hunting the shadow that gave the order. Until we do, the real architects of our political landscape will continue to operate entirely in the dark.